Want to know the secret to achieving a perfect credit score? Even though statistically only 1% of the population will ever get a score of 850 or higher. Now, whether you need a good credit score to get approved for a certain credit card you want, or you want to get a car loan or eventually a mortgage for your dream house, you are in luck, because in today's video, I'll be revealing to you the exact secret methods on how you can increase your credit score insanely fast. I won't even be shocked to hear that some of you were able to achieve a perfect credit score in just a matter of months. So what is the first step in getting a good credit score? Well, we need to know exactly what factors make up the entirety of the score. So starting at the first one, this is going to be payment history, which makes up 35% of your credit score. Next is going to be the accounts owed at 30%. After that, it's going to be the length of credit history at 15%. Then you have new credit making up 10%, and then credit mix making up the last remainder 10% of your entire credit score. Now, ladies and gents, the first three, payments history, account owed, and length of credit history, will make up for 80% of your credit score. So let's focus on getting those factors up first. So starting with payment histories, if you want to go ahead and increase this, here's what you need to know. First, pay your bills on time. Look, payment history is going to be the most important factor in determining most people's credit score, so it's essential that you learn to pay your bills on time every month by setting up automatic payments or reminders to ensure that you don't miss out on those dates. Now, although that one is more of a cardinal rule and something that you should put into practice before you even get into credit cards, this next tip here is something that you can get started with immediately. This here is to dispute any errors that you might have on your credit report. If you've ever made a mistake, such as forgetting to pay off a certain credit card and that's been marked permanently on your account, sometimes just by reaching out to the credit bureaus, they will show some leniency. The worst that can happen from this is ringing them up and them just telling you no. The next thing that you can do is work with certain credit card issuers. If you happen to be struggling with any on-time payments, go ahead, reach out to whatever company you have that type of credit balance with and see if you can work out a payment plan or negotiate a lower rate. As an example, American Express even offers a financial relief program. So if you happen to be just one of those people that are going through some tough times, reach out to see if you can negotiate anything with some of these companies. Even on their website, they state we may be able to help you by temporarily lowering monthly payments and interest rates. To fix the amounts owed on your credit score, which makes up 30% of your entire credit score, follow these next tips. First, pay down your credit card balances, because high credit card balances can negatively impact your score. And if you want to focus on doing this right, there are a few ways that you can utilize paying down as little as possible but still making a dent. This is by applying and getting approved for a no interest promotional card. There are a ton of credit cards out right now that offer anywhere from 12 to 15, even 18 months of no interest, where you can even transfer your balance over from one credit card to another. If the current credit card that you have some debt on right now is charging you anywhere from 20 to even 30% interest, that can add up to be a significant amount. The next way to pay down a lot of debt is by doing something called the snowball method. This here is one of my favorite ways to work down debt, and it's where you start paying off the smallest amounts of balances that you owe to someone first before moving on to other credit card balances. The whole principle behind this is using momentum, kind of like pushing a snowball down a big hill, and as you continue to roll that snowball, it gets bigger and bigger, and you're able to accomplish more of those goals. The next thing you can do within this category is to also just apply for a new credit card. By applying for a new credit card, you would be adding an entirely new credit limit to your account, which would bring down the overall amount of money that you owe. One of the few questions that I get asked all the time is, Brian, how can I quickly increase the amount of credit that I have? The fastest and easiest way to do this is to either apply for a new credit card, or the next thing you can do is to request a credit limit increase with any one of the issuers. As an example, American Express has an unspoken rule where they will triple people's credit limit. To be eligible for something like this, you typically just need to have an American Express card for at least 6 months and have a good credit history with no late payments or other negative marks on your account. To request a triple credit limit increase, you don't even have to call someone on the phone or even chat with anyone. They make it so easy where they have an option on their account where you can click on the credit limit increase button, and from there, they'll ask you to provide any information from your income, employment, other financial details, and they'll perform a soft credit pull. And from there, you can find yourself getting a triple credit limit increase automatically. Aside from American Express, when we're talking about some of the other key issuers, by calling them up, they usually allow people to increase their credit limit, but you have to make sure that you are prepared to give them a stable motivated reason. Things that have worked for me in the past is when I've told him, hey, look, I got a big purchase coming up, or hey, look, the competitor, the Chase Sapphire Palooza, by the way, it's a fake card, they're offering me a $20,000 credit limit and I'm more inclined to use their card over yours because their credit limit is higher. Would you be able to match that offer? And historically, reasons where you bring in other competing issuers are a good enough reason for them to go ahead and increase your credit limit or to meet any other demands that you have. Now at 15%, we have length of credit history, and this one is so important. To get this part of your credit right, keep your oldest credit account open. A lot of people assume that if I'm not using a credit card, I'm gonna close the account, I'm gonna chop up the card, and boom, I don't need it no more. Let me tell you, if there's one tip that you need to take away from this video is to never close a credit card unless you have a valid reason. So if that credit card costs you $700 a year to hold, okay, that's a viable reason. But if you're closing a credit card just to get organized for your books, or you don't want to own like 30 credit cards because it's so confusing, that's not a valid reason. Look, ladies and gents, even if you're not using certain credit cards regularly, a long credit history will show lenders that you have experience managing credit over a long period of time. So just simply put, never close or cancel a credit card that you've had. The next thing you can do so you can score a nice little A+ within this category is to become an authorized user. Let me explain the whole concept of this. So if you're new to credit or you have a short credit history, becoming an authorized user on someone else's credit account can help you build your credit history very fast. You just want to make sure that whoever is going to add you to their account is in good standing. They also have a good credit score and they also have responsibility with paying off their credit cards on time. If someone who has terrible credit adds you as an authorized user, it could actually do the opposite effect where it impacts you detrimentally to the negative side. I think I could have said that in a better way, but y'all know my flow. And the second terminology is called trade lines. So trade lines is a very interesting concept. Think about it like this. If you have a really good credit score, you can go ahead and use this as a side hustle where people who don't have good credit scores can go ahead and get added to your account and you pay them to get listed as an authorized user under your name. By taking a look at this website here, you'll notice that there are people literally selling certain credit limit spots. There's a Barclays card with a credit limit of $3,000 where they're selling it for $262 for you to get added as an authorized user. It's really just it's a very fascinating world. That's what I'll say. Very fascinating world. Now, by doing those few things, I'm telling you, you should be able to get your credit right. And I hear that trade lines are one of the fastest ways that you can instantly boost your score overnight. If you ever see any clickbait headlines or titles saying like, increase your score like 300 points overnight, they're usually going to talk about piggybacking authorized users or a few other mentions that I'm going to follow up with you right now. Starting with credit mix, where this just refers to the different types of credit accounts you have within your credit history. So all this really boils down to is how diversified are you with different types of credit? Are you only just with credit cards, or do you have other loans? Do you have an auto loan that you've been paying off successfully? And do you have a mortgage that you're paying off successfully? A diverse credit mix is going to help demonstrate to the credit issuers that you are very responsible with your finances and that you can manage different types of credit accounts. Now, although this makes up about 10% of your score, it's still really important. Now, there are a few little tips and tricks here that I'm going to share so that you can increase this very quick, starting with building your credit by paying utilities and rent. For any utilities or bills that you have to pay automatically, you can go ahead and find additional ways to earn credit while doing that. As an example, the Built MasterCard gives you an option that when you rent at a Built Alliance property, you can have your rent payments automatically reported by Built to the 3 major credit bureaus each month to help build additional credit history and the types of credit on your report. Another way to do this is by taking advantage of something called Experian Boost. So the way this works is Experian goes ahead and takes a look into your bank and credit card records to find on-time qualifying payments on your utility, your internet, your phone bills, rent, and certain streaming service payments. Now, Experian Boost is completely free, so it's one of the quick and easy ways that you can also take advantage of in trying to boost your credit score. One last thing that you can do if you've exhausted most of your options and your score is still not going up is by taking a credit builder loan. So the way a credit builder loan works is instead of getting the loan money up front, the lender holds the money in a savings account or a certificate of deposit while you make payments on that loan. Generally, these credit builder loans will go anywhere from 6 to 24 months. There's one company here called Self, and they state pick a plan, make your payments, and get your money back at the end. And you would also then get a higher credit score at the end of that. Now, I'll say this, if you've tried every single method that I've said in this video and it has not worked for whatever reason, that's the only time I would recommend something like this. Or if you're willing to pay money up front in order to get this done quicker, I would say it's worth it. But unless you've exhausted all your options, I wouldn't resort to this as the first thing to do. Now, last but not least, the remaining factor in making up a perfect credit score is the new credit category. Within this, it's all about just keeping balances low and limiting your credit applications to as little as possible. The secret method within acing this category, though, is just time and patience. Look, I'm someone who has a pretty good credit score, but I will say, even for myself, that I'm applying constantly for new cards, or if I'm getting a mortgage like I recently did, or if I pick up a new auto loan, that new credit is always going to be in the red. Because this only makes up 10% of your score, it's not enough for you to completely tank it. If you focus on the first 3 aspects of your credit score, which make up 80% of that pie, then you will be set on your way. Although this is important for you to achieve perfection, it's not something I would focus too much on, because I do know the importance of how much money you can make back by actually going ahead and using credit. Keep in mind, if you do apply for a new credit card, you get a new loan, and your credit score takes a dip, it is what I will say temporary. So usually it goes up the month after that. Now, if you made it till the end, here's what you can do step by step in order to get started. First, make sure you sign up for annualcreditreport.com. From this website, you can get a completely free copy of all 3 credit bureaus. This here will give you an idea of, out of the 5 things we mentioned, which ones you should be working on first. By doing all these things that I mentioned, you'll be on your way in raising your credit score a tremendous amount. So ladies and gents, if you take any action from the steps that I mentioned in this video, come back to this video here. I read like every single comment that gets posted anywhere on this channel, and it means the world to me to know how much this information is helping you guys out. If you want to learn more about some of the best no annual fee credit cards, or just the best credit cards in general, be sure to check out this video here on your screen. Like always, if you guys did find any value as well, be sure to drop a like down below, share this with a friend, and if you guys are interested at all in applying for any credit card at any time, if you're struggling with debt, ignore the segment right here, but if you have a good credit score and you're ready to get started with your journey, be sure to check out some of the affiliate links down below on this channel the next time you apply. Now, thank you all so much again for watching, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace.